So we are back here with another video, man. And today we're going to be talking about if my team has the most toxic community in gaming, man. And in short, I believe that the answer is yes to that question. And we're going to talk about why. We're also going to go over some comments, some toxic comments specifically, and we are going to talk about why they are blown out of proportion or why they are false, whatever, because I know you guys enjoy that, man. But before we start talking about it, please make sure to subscribe to the channel as well as leave a like on the video, man. Both those things are always very, very much appreciated and help me out more than you know, man. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. So with the My Team community, I mean, we all know the whole sponsored team situation. JC, I mean, it's been talked about endlessly by everybody. We all know what's going on there. And what this has led to is a spiral of people preying on people's downfall, which is not something that is usually seen in communities of other games. People having success in a game, people winning in a game mode. Yes, there is some people winning in the King of the Court by means that really don't seem fair. But most of the time, I mean, it's not the player's fault. That's 2K's fault. They need to fix King of the Court. But anyone who succeeds in this game just gets hate thrown at them. Whether it's Ty or whoever being the King of the Court winner, whether it's JC getting this account, whether it's, oh, people are being lazy with their content and they're getting hate because their content's still getting views. Whatever. Or if it's people having a good team or people having good cards, people get hate. No one likes to see other people succeed in this community, which is very weird. I don't think I've ever seen that in any other community. And also another thing that I want to mention is, and I'm going to use a comparison here. So my team, kind of the general consensus, I'm still having fun with my team. I still like 2K26 Myteam, but kind of the general consensus is that this game mode is dying and that it is past its prime. And I'm going to use a comparison to another gaming community that I'm not active in, but I do follow a little bit, and that is the Call of Duty Zombies community, which the prime of Call of Duty Zombies was probably, 10 plus years ago at this point, and it is never probably going to get back to a point where it was. And that kind of leads to some people getting mad and people are kind of upset with the direction of the game, whatever the case may be. But 2K is unique, as specifically the My Team community, because there are people actively just cussing out 2K, which you don't really see. I mean, there's even content creators openly saying F 2K. And it's just like, I don't think I've ever seen that in any other community. And I'm active, not active, but I do keep up with a lot of other communities that are gaming communities that are in different situations. And I've just never seen that. I've never seen a community where everybody prays on everybody's downfall when there's any kind of success, whether it's in-game success, whether it's success as a creator, any kind of success, people are going to hate. And then also people hating the company so much to where it's literally seems like it's like the most hated thing that's like a part of their life. And it's like, why are you even still playing if you're to that point, man? But anyway, that's just kind of my take. I got some other stuff to say, but we're going to go over some comments and we're going to kind of, it will kind of naturally bring out some of the other things that I have to say about this game, man. So let's get started. This will be interesting. So 2K is literally total scum and total idiots because people would rip more if they could actually pull something good in regards to packs. Now, I think that the whole situation with this super, super rich guy donating the account to JC2K, for me, it wasn't really an eye-opener because I knew that some really, really rich people played this game. But you'd think it'd be more of an eye-opener for some people. Like, people really think that this is the only, super, super well-off guy playing this game. Like, come on, man. There's a lot of people like that, and that is what this game is catered towards because they have no problem throwing thousands and thousands towards this game every week. And the problem is, and I'm not trying to defend 2K, I'm just trying to give you guys the truth about why this game is the way that it is. So if we look at packs, we look at the odds, it's going to realistically take 4 or 5 of these 51 pack boxes to pull a pink diamond, if not more. And if the odds were better, all of those super rich people would quit ripping once they pull a pink diamond. But there are people in a position where that kind of money, $100 means nothing to them. So they're just going to keep ripping until they pull either, a pink diamond, the card that they want, whatever. So they don't care about little Jimmy down the street that's going to spend $100 every 2 weeks. They just don't. I mean, we've been over this 1,000 times. So people that say that 2K should increase the odds or 2K should make packs better or 2K should do this or do that to benefit the player base as a whole, it would actually negatively affect them financially. So that is why they're not doing what they're doing. Do I like that that is the case? No, I don't. I wish that the game was catered more towards casuals. If this isn't the final My Team, then I guarantee you there will be some major changes next year. This year's content is the worst it's ever been by a long shot. Auction House is a ghost town. 2K has finally outdone themselves, and they've been awful for a few years to begin with. Well, there's kind of a lot to unpack here. This year's content is the worst it's been by a long shot. I don't agree with that. I mean, you could say that this game, sees less updates. So I guess in that sense, yes. It kind of feels a little bit dry. But as far as the ability to obtain MT and the ability to obtain cards in general, I think it's the best that it's ever been. I really, really do. And I don't know what it is with the community, but this seems to be a theme. I always see people asking, which cards should I pick up for 100K or which cards should I pick up for 200K? And this is kind of a problem, in my opinion. And let me explain why. So a lot of people are used to My Team where there's a couple agenda cards that are meta, as well as a few, budget cards that are super meta. And I think that this has been a problem since Ty came into the community at the end of 2K20. It's not Ty's fault. It's not really anybody's fault. This isn't even 2K's fault either. But once Ty came into the community at the end of 2K20, everybody cared about what is the most meta lineup that I can run for the amount of MT that I have. Whereas before that, it kind of felt like everyone just used who they wanted to use. And I think that this game is perfect for everybody just using who they want to use. A lot of people complaining about, oh, I can't afford my favorite players. Well, I suppose that is true. You can't, the pink diamonds are hard to afford. Like, I get it. But if we're looking at diamond or lower, there are hundreds of cards that you are going to have success with in an online setting. But people, for some reason, well, it's because they're so used to content creators telling them who to use, or 2 cards being in the agendas, and they're gonna, use those cards because they look at them as free cards. Or I mean, they are free cards, but people don't look at cards on the auction house as free cards. Even if you obtain MT for free, they basically are free. But whatever. So people just don't play this game how it's meant to be, in my opinion. And it's been like this for a long time, like I said, until Ty came into the community, where you should be trying out cards for yourself and you should be using who you want to use. You should not be using who either the game tells you to use or content creators tell you to use. The game is way more fun when you play it like that. This game this year is not catered to that. So people kind of have a problem with that, when in reality, in my opinion, it makes the game better. So I don't know. I don't know about that whole thing. Um, Let me read over this one really quick. This one's kind of a long one. All of the anger and frustration should be directed at 2K in regards to the sponsored account. 2K is an inaccessible monolith. Players direct their frustration at easier targets. I just think if you are in a place where you need to direct your frustration towards something, if you are frustrated because of content or if you're frustrated because of the game in general, you just need to take a step back. You need to take a step back, go and get some fresh air, do something else, play a different game for a little bit. Because you shouldn't be living like that. You shouldn't be living in frustration, and we see that with a lot of people. A lot of people are very, very frustrated because they have a lot of MT and they feel like they should be able to afford Dr. J. Or we see a lot of people that are very, very frustrated because other people are getting cards that they want. And just take a step back. You don't need to air out your frustration to specific content creators. You don't need to go on this whole 2K is the devil rant, which a lot of people are doing. Go out and just take your energy out in a constructive way. Go on a run. Hit a punching bag a few times, you know? Do something like that, man. I just don't. Okay, we're gonna get into. We've got into this issue last video, but we're gonna have to get into this issue again, just briefly here. I just don't see how advertising an app for bankers to a bunch of 16-year-olds and no-lifers makes any sense. So this just comes from just lack of knowledge. I mean, we already talked about why this was a smart move by Flare AI, and thinking that this community is only 16-year-old no-lifers is just completely untrue. I look at my YouTube analytics. Sure, I don't get as many views as some of these content creators. So maybe, my analytics are a little bit different than theirs, whatever the case may be. But like well over 50% of my viewer base is the age group of like 25 to 30, which is the age group that I fall in as well. And my age group for like 18 and under type of people is like 10 or 15%. So like 90%, well, up to 90% of my viewer base is not 18 or under. So that's just lack of knowing, who actually does play this game. I see in the near future 2K will put some clause in their TOS agreement that will shut down this whole sponsorship thing. Why in the world would they do that? All that this whole situation is doing is helping 2K. I mean, seriously. That comment makes zero sense to me. This is something very important as well. This guy, he said a bunch of other stuff, but he said at the start of his comment, at the end of the day, this is just a game. And I think that that is something that a lot of people need to hear and that a lot of people forget. This is just a game, man. This is not your life. You're not like plugged into a VR headset and this is your entire life. And gaming might get to that point. It really might, but it's not at that point right now, man. And there's a lot more to life than this game. And I think a lot of people do forget that. So that is a statement that even I got a little bit out of hearing that, It's getting a little caught up in all this drama and whatever else. And I heard that and I was like, yeah, this is just a game. Maybe I need to take a little deep breath here and, kind of smell the roses and do all that kind of stuff. But anyway, let's move on here. Yeah, anybody that says that they wouldn't take this opportunity because they're so against PAX, whatever, yes, you would take this opportunity, man. I mean, come on. Let's be for real. And I don't understand how JC taking this opportunity, how does that, like, he can still have the same attitude towards the game. he can still tell people not to open up packs. How does him taking this deal make it to where, oh, he's going back on his opinions, oh, he's being a hypocrite? All he did was do something that benefits him. And I just don't get that logic. I really, really don't. That's what it comes down to. I noticed that people who have zero showdown. Okay, so these people are talking about how people are getting better pack odds if they just start out the game. That has been a very hot topic for a very long time in the community. And I mean, there's really no way to prove it either way. But people saying that, I also noticed that people have zero showdown or online game mode wins, end up pulling Pink Diamond, Wemby, Braun, etc. I don't think playing offline or online has anything to do with people having skewed pack odds, because for some reason, people who only play online think that there's nobody that just plays offline, which it's kind of always been like that. And then a lot of people that only play online kind of almost look down upon people that only play offline, which is very, very weird. Like, oh, if, I'm a showdown sweat and you play domination, you're a bum at the game. Like, the amount of times that I see people saying that, like, who cares? Everybody likes different game modes. Have fun playing what you want to play. And it kind of gets back to that whole topic. Like, nobody is getting better pack odds because they're only playing offline. Yes, there's people that only play offline. Yes, there's people that only play online. Playing online does not make you better than somebody who only plays offline. And there's nothing wrong with people spending money on this game that only play offline. The amount of people that open up packs, whether they're like a super whale and open up a ton of packs, or if they just open up a few packs, people just get cursed out for opening up packs in general, and then get cursed out when they pull something too, because people are jealous. So that's one issue. And another issue is that is tenfold if they only play offline. People are like, oh, you're going to go ahead and spend money on this game and you don't even play online. Like, you're a bum. Like, why would you spend money and get all these good cards when you only play offline? There's no point. Just let people do what they want to do. And that goes into the whole situation of a DBG and JC. I do understand this argument. I don't understand the argument of how JC2K is kind of goes back on what he says by taking this deal. But I do understand the argument of where, oh, it's okay for this guy to open up packs, even though we've already been through it. Like, it's pennies to this guy to be able to open up packs. Okay, it is. But the whole sentiment of, oh, it's okay for this guy to open up packs, but nobody else should be opening up packs, which is kind of how they are coming off. They're defending this whole thing, but then they will tell every single other soul on this game to not open up packs. And the fact of the matter is, open up packs if you want to open up packs. Packs can be fun. If you're in a situation where you can open up packs and set a budget for yourself and whatever. Just do what you want, man. So I do understand that argument. I truly, truly do. Why would he just give you his account? Also makes no sense for them to sponsor you. None of us are running banking companies, and this makes no sense. This is weird, man. It's a video game. Why is Flare AI really doing this? There's something fishy going on here. I don't know why people think that JC is like lying about this whole situation. What would he get out of lying about this situation and then promoting this company that he has nothing to do with? Why would he go through all the time and effort of making up this whole scripted kind of story and put more time and effort into that than it would be if he just, say hypothetically this was a lie and whatever? Why would he do that instead of just saying what he was actually doing? Like, if he was just putting his own money towards it. It makes no sense. And it's just lack of understanding of how a target market works, how marketing works and everything, for people saying that this won't benefit Flare AI at all. So yeah, it's more of that a little bit there, man. I do think you're going to have to balance rightly calling out 2K, then hopping on a pay to win account. Hey, check out this awesome card I just blasted 2K for releasing too few of. Why are people like trying to tell JC like what to do? Like he can say what he wants. And if people don't agree with it, then they'll just quit watching his videos, which people have already stated that they're going to quit watching for whatever reason because of this whole account thing. I think that that stems from jealousy as well. Most of this does. But why are people saying that? It really doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't. People saying that he's going to have to do this now because he did this, and oh, his viewpoints look like he didn't even really think that because he did this, and oh, this is super wrong morally if he actually did believe this was the case. Like none of that makes any sense. We're just reading too deep into this, and honestly, a lot of it people won't admit it. People are having trouble admitting this, Carlo included. All of this is just jealousy. It is. It's 100% is. The blowback is from the fact that some of us as viewers feel like you sold out. You were a person we went to for my team hard truths, and now those truths feel skewed. Why do people enjoy? I wouldn't call content that is complaining about the game hard truths. I would call it just rant content because a lot of it, as we've already highlighted, gets so blown out of proportion that it's not even funny. And so much misinformation gets spread. And why would you watch his content solely because he's being negative about the game? And then I just don't understand this, man. And I'm sorry that I'm struggling to come back with anything on these, but these comments genuinely don't make any sense to me. So there's some of these where I'm stuck in a position where I don't even know what to say. And this guy comments back and says, you would do the same thing given the same opportunity. I guarantee you that he would. Um, Personally, I walked away from 2K after the pack odds debacle. What pack odds debacle? The pack odds have been the same for 5 years. So that kind of is just hilarious. There's this same freaking guy that was when JC dropped the original video, like it's been like 2 days ago now. The original video about his sponsored account. This guy went on all kinds of rants. And you can tell that this guy is very uneducated just by the way that he types out his comments, and his grammar is all over the place. And you can tell that this dude's just not very smart. But anyway, let's read over this whole comment because it's actually just kind of funny, to be honest. When you pick at least 15 to 20 viewers to win and bless them, then you can say I'm giving back to the community. Lol, like MFs will pick one random person or an MF who glazed them all the time to bless them with some money or VC or be like, I did the community right, lol. This whole situation, first of all, does nothing but help the community. This is not negative to the community in any way. And second of all, I would hope and I would also think that JC is going to go about this in a fair way. If he does win King of the Court and get some of that money, he's going to on either Twitter or YouTube do something where, oh, leave a like, subscribe, and then leave a comment down below this specific video or leave a comment down below this specific Twitter post. And then he'll probably put all of the usernames into a random generator. He doesn't come off as a guy to me who is going to do this in some scummy way and pick favorites. I mean, I don't know him, so I could be wrong and he could do that. Hopefully not, just for the integrity of the whole situation, but I don't think that it's fair to assume that he's going to go about this in some scummy way, and I don't think that he will. So that just comes from being upset because he doesn't feel like he has any chance at the prize money, which he doesn't really have a right to any of the prize money anyway. So I don't know why he's acting like he does. That you picking a random winner is not giving back to the community. Bro, please stop saying I'm doing the community a favor or service. You're not. People, and not to mention, JC, I'm not trying to glaze JC. I just respect JC a lot more than a lot of the other content creators in the community because I feel like he puts in more effort towards content. I feel like his content is better than most creators, and I feel like his viewpoints are much more fair and much more respectable. So that's why I kind of find myself in a position where I'm someone who likes to bring the truth forward, and I find myself defending him more than not because I think that he's just in a good place with me, with that being kind of my goal. Favor service, you know, people are just slow and don't understand how marketing works. He says, lol, like, bro, it's just making this game terrible. Like, obviously, with the way that you're typing, you don't know how marketing works. You're definitely one of the people where you were one of the people that said that this doesn't benefit Flare AI, whatever. It's not Zen users, it's the sponsored accounts, bro. You MFs don't care about the community, you care about your bag, and I respect that. Just keep it a buck when you go live or make a vid. Like, I wouldn't even show this if I had the opportunity, lol, and I can go back and show screenshots of how much money I used to put in this game. No one cares how much money you used to put in this game. That's your own problem if you think you put too much money into this game. It makes me sick because I wanted my favorite card, not because I wanted to be a fiend. Nah, I just wanted one card, and looking back makes my stomach turn. So obviously this guy's upset because JC's got the best cards, and he was never able to get the best cards after spending a bunch of money. So, okay. Really good for JC. Not good for my team, in my opinion. How is this bad for my team? This is going to bring more engagement into the mode. Because people are going to be telling people that if this specific person wins, there's going to be a big giveaway every week. So that's first of all. Second of all, if you're talking about it's not good for my team from a 2K perspective, it absolutely is. So I don't know. This comment makes zero sense. Like, it's good for my team in a 2K perspective, and it's also good for my team from a player-based perspective as well. The only market crash is the day before Super Packs when people put stuff up thinking that 2K isn't going to be the scum of the earth and screw us. I mean, people were acting like and expecting these super packs. I expected these super packs to be exactly how they are. Same odds, same kind of, but everyone for some reason was expecting. I mean, I kind of actually, that's not completely true. I expected the odds maybe to be a little bit higher, and they actually are. There are, well, I guess they're not. So I apologize for that. I thought they were because I looked at the 51 packer. But they're exactly the same as they have been. And I kind of expected them to maybe be a little bit higher, just because maybe they wanted to get some more cards up on the market or whatever. But people thinking that these packs were going to be like a guaranteed amethyst and stuff, like, come on, bro. Like, we knew that that wasn't going to be the case. Like, are we serious with that? 2K should copy the Madden auction so you can actually get every card in there. Okay, so this guy's talking about that no cards in the game should be bid. We should be able to set a buyout for any price. And I think that this would be a major, major W because then for Mike, I'm going to kind of add onto this, and my idea would be, okay, we have the whole pending thing in the auction house right now where we have to wait to get a card. We have to wait when a card sells. It's super annoying. Just objectively, it's super annoying, and ever since it's been implemented at the beginning of last year, people have had a problem with it, including myself. It's just not consumer friendly whatsoever. So to me, what they could do is if every card had a buyout price, which apparently by what this guy is saying, it sounds like Madden does. So say you could put up Dr. J for a 5 million buyout, or put up whatever Diamond Wild Gem for lock-in for a 1.5 million buyout, or whatever card for a 500K. Just any buyout, there's no 100K limit to the buyout. Then I think what they could do is make it so that every single card in the game, consumables and everything included, before you list it, they could, say, like, say you try to put up this gold pick dodger for 20,000 MT. Like, obviously that's not going to sell. So before you even list it, they could give you a maximum listing price. Like, say the max listing price was like 10K or 5K. Then I could put it at this price. And then if they monitored it beforehand, which they could do with this whole buyout thing, then That would honestly just fix the auction house, because then there would be no pending. It would make it so that prices on cards were way more set, because I do agree, bidding on high tier cards is annoying. It is. And it'd be way nicer if it was a buyout. So that would eliminate the whole need for the whole pending thing, because they could just tell you beforehand, before you even post the card, that this is not a price that we condone, or not a price that this card is going to sell for, or whatever. Because if someone buys it, then you could consider that transferring MT, which I do understand that from 2K's perspective. But they could make it so that there is no pending thing after a sale if they do this. So that would be a major, major W. I think that needs to get talked about a little bit more, because I don't think 2K would have any problem doing something like that. People talking about Carlos Wemby snipe. Okay, so Carlos sniped a Wemby. JC got gifted 2 accounts. Okay. I don't know if this is true, but this is my opinion on it. I think JC's account thing, it comes off as genuine. Like, I don't think that there's anything fishy going on. I could be wrong, because obviously I don't know for a fact, so I'm not saying that I know for a fact. Doesn't really seem like there's anything fishy going on to me. But Carlos' snipe of Wemby last year, that was very obviously fake. Like, if you think that was real, bro, like, if you saw the video and you know the whole situation, that was 1000% fake. You can't tell me anything different. Because why in the world would he have stopped the stream, or stopped the video? Whatever happened, I can't remember exactly what happened, but basically he was recording and then stopped recording for a second, and then all of a sudden he had Wemby. Like, if that's not obviously faked, I don't know what is, man. Someone dissing Carlo because he's more into my team and gossip about other men than he's into girls, or actually having a girlfriend. What's up with this whole trend too? Like, for some reason, somebody called me out on one of these videos. Like, I do have a girlfriend, but somebody called me out on a video kind of about the same thing, like a couple videos ago. Okay, so just because we play video, it goes back to that whole stereotype thing we talked about a couple of videos ago. So just because I play video game for on average more than 1 or 2 hours a day, that means that I don't have a girlfriend, or that means that I don't have a life, or like, come on, bro. Like, this is just, and maybe that comes from jealousy too, because he went on to say that there's no way Carlo makes any money, blah 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 blah. So maybe it does come from jealousy that Carlo is making a living playing this game, and we've seen comments like that before, where people are just really jealous that certain people can play this game for a living and they can't. I think that that's honestly what that stems from. But the whole, you need to get a girlfriend, you need to get a life, you need to get out and see the sun. Like, what people need to do is what they enjoy. And the whole judging people because they do a specific thing and they feel like it's stupid. Very childish, to be completely honest with you. Um, Does anybody else feel like people that rip packs and have God squads are already cheaters? Like, we out here living in the mud. Why do you care if people have better teams? Like, I don't understand this. I gave an analogy in my last video, so try and check that out. I feel like that analogy was spot on. This guy's been complaining on every video that he has 3.7 million MT and can't get Dr. J. Like, bro, just come on, man. This is another thing too. People acting like, this is a point that I actually haven't ever covered, so this will be kind of interesting. But it is a point that has been very prevalent with sports games and 2K in general for years. If you were playing 2K specifically from a play now perspective, or maybe like a franchise perspective, or my NBA, or whatever it's called now, I can see why you would think this. But saying that my team is the same game every year, copy and paste, every year feels like a completely different game. And I don't know if I'm alone in that, but the vibe every year and the content released every year, it feels like a completely different game to me. My team specifically. So people saying that this game mode's always just copy paste, copy paste, copy paste. Yes, I know that there's cards this year that have the same card art as last year. There's cards that are the same, whatever. This game still feels way different than it did last year from a content perspective and a gameplay. So I just don't. That complaint, I think, just stems from burnout, to be honest. I don't understand why the lowest tier impacts this year was Amy. I missed when sets had budget demons at Sapphire and Ruby. There is so many budget. There is way more Ruby and Sapphire than in the game right now than we would have if they released them in promos. Like we've got 284 Sapphires and 195 Rubies. If Rubies and Sapphires released in promos, we would have how many promos do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So say that 4 of each tier were released in each promo. Then we would have 28 Sapphires and 28 Rubies. Whereas right now we have 284 Sapphires and 195 Rubies. So I see that these comments a lot. Like, oh, there's no budget cards. Oh, there's no lower tier cards. Like, it just goes back to the whole point where I just don't think that people like super casuals know that these wild gem cards are purchasable or something. I don't know. I don't. Those comments make zero sense to me. So I always got to talk about them. But all right, man. I think that was the last comment, so that's gonna do it. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you're new. Leave a like on the video, man. Hope you guys enjoyed. We'll be back with more content soon, and I will see you guys in the next vid.